The leaderboard just got flipped upside down. Tonight, Rory McIlroy has done it again. The Northern Irishman has reclaimed the world #1 ranking, and the way he did it, the who he knocked off to get there, is sending shockwaves through the entire sport. The man he dethroned is not just any golfer. He is the man who captained Rory McIlroy at the Ryder Cup. Stay with us, because this story goes much deeper than a trophy. This is history, this is rivalry, and this is breaking news. Let's get straight to it. Rory McIlroy has won the 2026 Cognizant Classic. Location: PGA National, Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. And with that victory, he has officially climbed back to the top of the official world golf ranking. World #1. Now, you might be thinking, okay, another Rory win, big deal. But here is what makes this different. Here is what makes this extraordinary. The man he knocked out of the top spot, the man now sitting at #2, is Luke Donald. Luke Donald, the Englishman, the precision golfer, the man who, just months ago, served as the captain of Team Europe, with Rory McIlroy as his star player at the 2025 Ryder Cup. Let that sink in. The player, just dethroned, his own captain, on a golf course, in public, in front of the entire world. Now, before we talk about what this means, let me give you the full picture of what happened at PGA National this week. McIlroy came out firing. He entered the final round locked in, focused, and with something to prove after a mixed start to his 2026 season. His iron play was dialed in. His course management was elite. And when it mattered most, Rory McIlroy delivered. He walked off that 18th green as champion. And when the rankings refreshed, Luke Donald dropped. Rory rose. World #1. Again. Now let's talk about why this matters, and why the golf community cannot stop talking about it. Pushpin, the legacy angle. Rory McIlroy has spent his entire career chasing greatness. For major championships, dozens of PGA Tour wins. A man who has been called, for over a decade, the best golfer in the world who hadn't yet won the Masters. Then came April 2025, Augusta National, the Masters. Rory McIlroy finally completed the career Grand Slam. He didn't just win, he won in historic fashion. The weight of a decade lifted off his shoulders on that 18th green. And now, just months later, he has added the world #1 ranking back to his name. The man is not slowing down. He is accelerating. His legacy? It is no longer a question. It is a statement. Pushpin, the captain-player dynamic. Here is where it gets psychologically fascinating. Luke Donald captained Team Europe at the 2025 Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black. Under his leadership, Rory McIlroy was the emotional engine of that team. There was a moment, a now famous moment, when Rory got into a heated confrontation with Patrick Cantlay's caddy on the course. Tensions were boiling. Emotions were high. And what did Captain Luke Donald do? He walked into that locker room, sat down, looked straight at Rory McIlroy, and said, "Rory, I fing love that." Asterisk. The whole team erupted. That was the bond between these two men. Captain and player. Leader and warrior. And now, in 2026, that very player has knocked that very captain off the top of the world rankings. It is not a betrayal. It is not a rivalry in the traditional sense, but it is a profound moment in the sport. Two men, deeply connected, now separated by a razor-thin margin at the absolute top of professional golf. Pushpin, the rankings impact. Let's put this in numbers. Rory McIlroy has now spent over 100 weeks as world #1 across his career. This reclaiming, coming off the back of his Masters victory in 2025, puts him in the conversation with the all-time greats. For context, Tiger Woods spent 683 weeks at world #1. Rory is not Tiger. No one is. But the fact that he is still here, still fighting, still climbing, at this stage of his career, that is elite. That is rare. That demands respect. Pushpin, the sponsorship and commercial angle. When you are world #1 in golf, the financial implications are massive. Nike, TaylorMade, Rolex, Sky Sports, PGA Tour broadcast deals. Every major sponsor in the game wants their brand next to that ranking. Rory McIlroy, already one of the most commercially powerful athletes in golf, just increased his market value significantly. Sources close to the tour suggest his endorsement portfolio could see renewed negotiations. World #1 is not just a ranking. It is a brand. It is a business. And Rory just reclaimed both. But here is where this story gets even more layered. And this is the part most outlets are not fully covering. Repeat button, the 2012 Echo. This is not the first time Rory McIlroy became world number one by winning the Cognizant Classic. Back in 2012, the tournament was called the Honda Classic, but it was held at the same PGA National course in Florida. And Rory McIlroy, just 22 years old at the time, won that tournament and became world number one for the very first time. Who did he dethrone that day? Luke, Donald, the exact same man. 14 years apart. Same course. Same result. Same two names. This is not coincidence. This is golf writing its own screenplay. Rory himself was aware of the symmetry. When asked about reclaiming the top spot, sources indicate he acknowledged the poetic nature of how it happened, at PGA National, of all places, warning the controversy nobody is talking about. Now, here is the tension underneath the surface. Rory McIlroy had a complicated start to his 2026 season. In Dubai, his first two events of the year, his form was inconsistent. His ball striking was off. There were whispers in the golf media about whether Rory was truly the dominant force he was in 2025. Then came the Genesis Invitational at Riviera Country Club in Los Angeles. Rory finished runner-up, but the story was ugly. He missed putt after putt on the final day. 11-foot putts, 10-foot putts, 8-foot putts. Gone. Missed. Nowhere near. He lost almost 2 full strokes on the greens on that Sunday alone. And then, final hole, he drains a 29-footer for birdie, when it was already too late. A reporter asked him if it felt cruel to see that putt finally drop when the tournament was already gone. Rory's response: deadpan. Perfect. It earned me an extra $500,000, so I'll take it. Cold. Clinical. Unbothered. That response told you everything about where his mental state was heading. And then came the Cognizant Classic. And now, world number one. From "is he really back?" to the top of the world in the span of 2 weeks. The bounce-back speed is almost alarming. Fire Insider report. Multiple insiders and analysts covering the PGA Tour are pointing to one key change in McIlroy's game heading into this stretch: his return to blade irons. After a brief experimentation with cavity-back irons, which offer more forgiveness, McIlroy switched back to the more demanding, less forgiving blade irons. It is a choice that only the most elite ball strikers in the world can get away with. It signals confidence. It signals control. It signals that Rory McIlroy believes he is back at his absolute best, and the world number one ranking suggests he might be right. So what comes next? And why should every golf fan be watching extremely closely over the next 6 weeks? Person golfing the Masters, defending champion. Augusta National, April 2026. The Masters Tournament. Rory McIlroy is the defending champion. He completed the career Grand Slam at Augusta last April, one of the most emotional moments in the history of the sport. And now he walks back through those gates as both the defending champion and the world number one. The last time a player entered Augusta in that position with that kind of momentum? You already know the names. The pressure on Rory McIlroy between now and the first week of April is unlike anything most athletes will ever experience. To win a first Masters is legendary. To defend it, back-to-back, while ranked number one in the world, that is immortality. But before Augusta, Rory has 2 more stops. Calendar upcoming schedule: Arnold Palmer Invitational, Bay Hill, Orlando. The Players' Championship, TPC Sawgrass, Ponte Vedra Beach. These are 2 of the most prestigious non-major events on tour. And Rory has won at the Players before. Every tournament now, every round, is a Masters tune-up. His form is building. His confidence is building. And the competition? It is fierce. VS button, the Scottie Scheffler factor. We cannot discuss Rory's rise back to number one without acknowledging the elephant in the room. Scottie Scheffler. The American has dominated professional golf for the past 2 years in a way that has been almost suffocating for every other player on tour. Multiple wins per season. Olympic gold. Consistent. Relentless. Scheffler is still a top 3 player in the world. He is not going anywhere. And the fact that Rory has now climbed above him, or is in direct competition with him for that top spot, sets up one of the most compelling rivalries in the sport today. Rory versus Scottie. At Augusta, in April. If you are a golf fan, you should be losing your mind right now. Warning: the uncertainty. But here is the uncomfortable question nobody wants to ask. Can Rory sustain this? His putting was a disaster at the Genesis Invitational. He himself admitted he overthought his reads. He lost 3 strokes on the greens across the final 2 rounds. If that putting regression shows up at Augusta, on those iconic, terrifying, lightning-fast Bermuda greens, the story changes entirely. A missed Masters defense from the world number 1, coming off a Grand Slam win, would be one of the most painful narratives in modern golf. The pressure is immense. The stakes have never been higher, and the golf world is watching every single swing. For the full in-depth breakdown of Rory McIlroy's world number 1 reclaim, including his complete 2026 schedule, Augusta odds, equipment changes, and exclusive analysis, visit our website. The link is in the description below. We have the stats, the timelines, the expert commentary, the full story, all in one place. Do not miss it. The link is in the description. And if you want to stay ahead of every major breaking story, every shocking development, every career-defining moment in the world of sports and beyond, hit that subscribe button. Right now, we cover breaking news on the biggest names, athletes, celebrities, historical figures, every single day. The stories nobody else tells the way we tell them. Subscribe, hit the bell, and we will see you in the next one.